a little bit negative toward you because you have to admit, I hope you will, you set a bad precedent when you allowed that weasel, that liar, that idiot, that unchristian that claimed he was a Christian, Matt from Gainesville, come back after you kicked him off the show. Nobody wanted him on the show. He's such a lying attacker. He's like a Trump hater. And he hates me now, or has, because I exposed him and undressed him for his lies back a couple of years ago about, things that he had said and done, and then he turned around and lied about it. He and I were talking on the direct message on Twitter, you remember? So now you let him back on as Red Dog, which is a lie, which is a phony. And I don't know why you did that, Paul. I mean, I just can't imagine why that'd be like letting I-Man come back as Squirrel. It just didn't make sense to me.
Well, Jim, anyway, I really don't remember why we let him back, but he's back.
Well, I know, but why don't you call him by what his real name is, Matt from Gainesville, the weasel of all weasels?
Okay.
And that's why he doesn't like me. So he comes over here and says, I'm a bad caller. Boy, that hurts me. That just kills me, Paul. I'm rated the best caller that ever called the show by you and numerous other callers and people that know the show. Even Tim Brando gives me kudos.
Yeah, but Jim, the question though is that you may be the best caller of all time, but what have you done lately?
Well, you don't knock me what I did yesterday. I tried to help your show, and now I know you enjoyed yesterday. And now you're going to try to tear me down again. I'm
not trying to tear you down. I'm trying to keep you.
You don't know how to handle people, Paul.
I'm trying to keep you honest.
Well, I am honest, but I mean, you're going to attack. There you go now, attacking me. You want to piss me off. That's not smart,
Jim, I'm not trying to do anything other than.
Well, you're doing it. Well, you always do it, Paul. You always do that. That's out of line. If you rate me high, you shouldn't be running all over me like you're doing now.
But Jim, I mean,
come on, Paul. You never admit you're wrong.
I think I admit I may have been. Well, maybe I was wrong about that.
Well, why didn't you admit that then, and then I'd have let you alone? You could have saved me both of us a lot of misery.
Jim, all I was trying to say was this. We do live in the now. This is a daily show.
Well, you think he's better than me ever?
No,
that guy
Jim.
He's a liar, Paul. He's nothing but a liar.
I don't really care for the guy. I mean, the guy did get run off the show, and
he was Matt. His name is Matt from Gainesville.
Okay.
And you let him back on his Red Dog.
I don't. But Jim, here's the deal. I don't think he's really worth spending 5 minutes talking about.
No, he's not. He's not. But I wanted to make the point because you let him attack me like that, and I just,
okay.
I think it ought to get straightened out. That's all.
Well,
I'm a detail guy. By the way, thanks. Congrats to Augie for manning up and doing what he said he'd do. So that's good. So I'll leave it on a good note, Paul. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jim. I've always said it's a good thing we don't do the show from a bar. Jack is in Dallas, and you are on the air. Hello, Jack.
Hey, Paul. I called in earlier. I was the one who called in as the OU fan about the TCU fan. I'm sorry my phone got cut off, but I had an honest question for you, and I hope I'm not intruding on a SEC show as a Big 12 fan, but you're the only one on TV that's a huge college football fan, and I'm a diehard. I have a question for you. I love Lincoln Riley. I love OU. And we can recruit like barnstormers and play offense like crazy, okay? But from a recruiting standpoint, I'm getting tired of being the also-ran college or university from a conference that goes and shows up for the college football playoff and gets barnstormed by an SEC team that can play defense. I mean, we had Kyler, and it was amazing. But is it from a recruiting standpoint, why can't we play defense? Do we choose not to recruit those guys? Or can we not out-recruit the SEC for those guys?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's just the SEC. And I know Lincoln, and I'm a fan as well. I know he's upgraded his defensive side of the ball. He needed to. And I think in the end, Stoops hung around with his brother too long, and I think it hurt the program. And a change has been made. And from what I hear, the new defensive coordinator has great credentials. Last year was somewhat of an outlier. The year before, was that against Alabama? I'm trying to rember.
I don't remind me, please.
Yeah, I mean that team just did not look. Yeah, I mean that was a 28-point game at one point. I don't know if it's that or whether it's the conference that they're just not they don't get tested enough in that conference. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, because for me, I look at Caleb Williams. We're getting the number one quarterback in the country. 2
every
out of 3 years, and I'm excited. But so what? Are we going to be able to stop anybody ever?
It's an issue, I just think, Jack, from what I hear, being at the national championship or the college football playoff every year, that by the time they get there, they just are not prepared. Everyone else, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, they played Florida, they played each other, they played Notre Dame, and I don't think Oklahoma is ready for what they get.
No, we squeaked by Baylor.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Paul.
Hey, thank you. It's a good point. I mean, it's anyway.
I just hope there's hope for us.
Appreciate the call very much. We are heading to a break. We've already had Bruce Feldman on talking about his new book with Ed Ogeron. We started the show with the news that Notre Dame has lost its game this weekend with Wake Forest. They might be able to get it in the next week. They both have a mutual off date. That's the big college football saga of the day. Another hour to go, and we hope you will stick around.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Picking up an online order? No problem. It'll just be a moment. We've got more convenient ways to shop besides our same-day store pickup. You can also shop from your car with our free curbside pickup. Or you can even shop completely from home with our free next-day delivery. Just order by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
For your Gulf Coast Sports Minute, I'm JP. Thanks to an update from Brian Ahatz in the P&J, following up a highly unusual offseason, with an opening week delayed by Hurricane Sally, high school football will return Saturday to Escambia County. Escambia will host West Florida at 2 p.m., Catholic will host Pine Forest at 7 p.m., and Washington will host Tate at 1 p.m. The Northview Chiefs have not declared a start time against Holmes County as of yet. Escambia County Athletic Director Roger Mayo said each school is going to make a determination. Schools and staffs are inspecting fields and facilities to decide if it's going to be safe to return to practice and safe to play a game Friday. Santa Rosa County games, however, Milton at Gulf Breeze and Navarre at Pace, are still scheduled for Friday. If there are any changes, we will keep you updated here at ESPN Pensacola. Remember, social distancing protocols will be in place, so please be courteous of everyone around you, and let's get this high school football season started. That's your Gulf Coast Sports Minute. I'm JP.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
That's right, Ron. In one corner, we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at a whopping 6,000 tons. And in the other, this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons.
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
Ron, this is one of those rare moments where I actually find myself at a loss for words.
This driver can't think he can beat a train.
I can hardly bear to watch.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. Trying to beat a train is more dangerous than you think. See Tracks, Think Train. For more safety tips and information, visit ctracksthinktrain.org.
This week's greatest calls in sports history, we revisit the 2013 Iron Bowl, where we saw the number 1 ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama call time with 1 second left, tied at 28, with number 4 Auburn to attempt a 57-yard field goal to win it. The kick was short, and the rest was history. Forever known as the kick six, and one of the greatest calls by the iconic voice of Auburn Tigers football, Rod Bramblett.
56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home to hometown sports, covering the biggest high school games. UWF football, catching every game of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Plus, local sports commentary with the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. And weekend sports talk with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick on the Sports Call. We are local. We are ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, we'll get to more from last night's NFL game in Vegas. Nothing like going to Viva Las Vegas, $2 billion Roomba, and no fans, but a really bad haircut. We'll tell you more.
Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin. Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Broken beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold. Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Nothing like just about to start the show, getting ready, and I'm on a group text with my dad and all of our family. I guess this is where I get it from. And he's like, looks like Bob Kraft is free. Must add an Asian lawyer to help him get off the case. Helped him get off the case right there. So that's how I get to start the show here with this text coming in. And I obviously had to read that to everybody. Welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola. And on Blab TV, I am Chad Brillante on the other side of the glass, always starting it off, making it uncomfortable for him. JP, what's happening, my friend?
Yeah.
Roll Tide, man. It's a big week here.
Me come after Kraft.
You know how many people you attacked this week by putting the kick six as our
Don't worry, Alabama's big time is coming too. They're big.
All their national championships, and you get it's Rod Bramlett. You know, when you added that piece in there, the late Rod Bramlett, one of the best calls. To do that, you sort of like made those people going, ugh, and they go, all right.
I could have rubbed salt in the wound and got Eli Gold's call, but I didn't because Rod Bramlett, just the iconic voice, it's sad, everything that happened with him. But the call is awesome, just awesome.
What's more iconic, the kick six, Chris Davis returning it, or Chris Davis for the Baltimore Orioles not getting a hit for his first 51 at-bats?
Kick six.
Or I'm sorry, 51 games.
Yeah, I was about to say 51 games. He would take 51 at bats.
For what, $30 million a year? How much he was making?
That's why it's not as iconic.
Yeah,
because he's okay.
Well, you know what? If somebody said you can literally do nothing as much as a guy with no arms and be able to go out there and get paid $30 million for that season for like a seal with a ball in its nose, or like. That's somehow
Did you see the
big ups to him?
I posted
man.
I think it was yesterday on our ESPN Facebook page, the one-arm quarterback that scored 6 touchdowns his high school game.
Like I did see that. Yeah.
That was sweet. That's awesome.
That's really awesome right there.
That's crazy. Like,
yeah.
Guys, when I saw that, I don't mean anything negative toward this,
man.
but it was one of those like the feel-good story, like they hand it off and the people let them score, that type of thing. This was like real deal, weaving in and out of traffic, all this stuff. And running over people. Like, that was awesome.
Last night, the Las Vegas Raiders get it done right there.
Speaking
as
of salt
we said.
in the wound.
How about that? Mark Davis, this is sort of one of those that you sort of do the fake clap when you're at the social event. Like, you're like, I'm not really sure if I'm clapping for this. But they decided to go with no fans. Now, it's sort of like all or nothing mentality right there. But at the same time, you would think that as things are progressing, more and more teams are allowing some fans in. The LA Chargers are going to allow other teams' fans into their stadium coming up here soon. There's a lot of teams that are starting to mix that up. And that's what I'm saying. Like Steeler fans can show. But when it comes down to a team like Las Vegas, there was no fans there last night. $2 billion Roomba. It does look like a Roomba right there. And a nice stadium, a beautiful stadium. Almost looks fake. It almost looks like, how many times did you look at that game last night? And because we're so used to the virtual reality in the games, get your heads out of the gutter, for sports, you look at that and you go, almost looked like it was like fake. Like half of that was fake. Like it was a green screen. But it was all real. That's what they do in Vegas. A little bit bigger. And their team comes out, gets the win. How about that? Nice 34-24 win. I know we got a lot of Saints fans that were unhappy. Here's the deal with Saints. Saints fans, you guys have had the best regular season record pretty much every single year. And taking it from a Pats fan, you can boo the crap out of anyway. I understand that the regular season record doesn't mean much in the big picture. Like Drew Brees is not going to get any press conference if the season goes through when it comes around and sitting there in January and go, well, you know that we didn't get to the promised land. We actually lost early in another round. Bad PI call. Good job by the ref, Coach Vinovic's crew, or Ref Vinovic's crew. And all of a sudden, we just had that moment where we knew that our 13-3 regular season record was okay, baby. Woo, woo, woo. No, nobody's ever said. So if the Saints go 10-6 and they're not able to win it all, it's okay. I mean, I'm saying if they go 10-6 and they're able to win it all. If they go 13-3 and don't win it all, then that's worse. Like the regular season, losing this game, you guys lost to a team that had their first game. Nothing like the first touchdown ever in the history of your program going to, or history of your team going to Alec Ingold right there. Nobody had that in Vegas, I'm sure. Made a lot of cash. But able to win that game, the Raiders beat them. They just went out and beat them. And the Saints looked like the old Saints, even without Michael Thomas, 17-7 lead. They find Jared Cook for that touchdown. And then got to hand it to Derek Carr. The less of the two that has been sacked in his career, even though he's been sacked a lot. That's saying, David's like, yeah. Look at my bruises. But Derek is a pretty solid quarterback. I know you are smiling right now, as you should, based on that you are a Derek Carr fan and you think he's good. And I think he's solid too. However, he is 2-0 right now. He's looked good so far. There's still a lot of football left. One thing I will say, though, is John Gruden steps in. And if you're going to pay the man his money, 10-year, $100 million for good old Chucky. If you're going to do that, utilize what he does best, which is offense. and utilize those spider wide tube bananas and everything he does out there to be able to call and bring in a team. And guess who they've drafted? Darren Waller, who's an elite tight end. I mean, he's proven that the way he plays. Josh Jacobs, one of the elite running backs, Roll Tide. Henry Ruggs, Roll Tide. Brian Edwards, very underrated for his size, 6'3", 220, third rounder this year from South Carolina. Fabian Monroe, also a guy. Monroe was a guy that came over for LSU, was down here on the field. Down here when we were working hard. Me extremely hard, remember, for the Senior Bowl down there on the field? I wasn't just running around the field catching balls, and Coach Dave Wilson's like, Chad, this is for the kids. Van Jefferson, a lot of cool people down there. I actually swooped in for the picks. You were down there for 3 hours that day? I was there for 30 minutes. I got all the picks, like the selfies with all players. I was in. That's what I knew.
That's why
I came in.
I knew I was bound to be a Florida fan.
That's right.
Because I had
Van
that
Jefferson.
hour-long conversation with Van Jefferson last year, and I was still amazed. Like, why is he still talking to me? I'm just this bozo the clown walking around taking photos and all this other stuff. But no, there you go. How about that?
Well, look at this. We got breaking news right now. Billy Donovan has reached a deal.
It's my dog
looks
right
like
there.
He's going to coach the Chicago Bulls. Bulls. Look, there's some historic names
coach.
right there. That's yeah, sure. I went to Billy Donovan's camp. I'll never forget. He had an assistant. His assistant coaches have made more of an impact.
Hey, he asked you
Anthony
to get him
Grant. No, he didn't.
And then he was like, "Oh wait, you're here for the camp."
Got a classic photo of me dunking on a hoop that's only 6 foot. But by the angle, I made the kid take it from a below bleachers. Like, you know how the court, you have to walk up the stairs sometimes? So he was below the court, and at the angle, this thing looked like I was dunking. Now, the kid, I made sure to pick a kid who was like 3'2". It's like a younger brother who was not at the camp. He was only 4. But I dunked over him, and at that angle, this thing looked awesome. And I signed it. I signed it for my friend. He still has it, by the way. I think it's on Facebook somewhere. I'm going to find that.
Poor
6 foot hoop. 6 foot. But we were out there at Billy Donovan's camp. This guy's a good coach, so he's going to get another opportunity. He did as much as he could with Oklahoma. If you had to look at that team, outside of Chris Paul, Steven Adams' family, there wasn't that much you could work with. Like Gilgeous Alexander and some of those guys, Lucas Dortz, who didn't move up until the end, those guys were solid, but they're not elite. They're not going to win a title. They had Chris Paul, and they got through. But Billy Donovan, the Bulls, he's taken over a young team that he can work with, very similar to what Brad Stevens is able to do at Boston. Not comparing the rosters. Just saying the athletes are young that he can mold, and he likes that. College coaches like to be able to mold those guys. They don't want old-timers that think they know everything. Like Billy Donovan on a LeBron team wouldn't work. But Billy Donovan gets that start, and good luck to him. He's a good guy. If you look back at Billy Donovan's story, my mouse just hit me somewhere. That's ridiculous. But Billy Donovan's story is one that just check out his family, because this is a good man of faith, but he's gone through a lot. And for somebody personally with my family that have gone through a lot in this department with kids and with the NICU and losing some loved ones there along the way, it's been one where just read up on it, because he's meant a lot. I don't read a lot of books because we read all day for work, but I read his story and his book, and it was an inspiration during a tough time. So Billy's a good man, and he's gone through a lot. And we never think about that with coaches. Bill O'Brien on Hard Knocks. Nobody knows, and we like the Bill O'Brien memes, and nobody's going to fire Bill O'Brien when he's the GM. But what we don't talk about is Bill O'Brien has a son with special needs at home that he takes care of when he gets back there with his amazing wife and the things they go through. So we don't think about that stuff on a daily basis. That Chris Peterson didn't take the job at Florida when everybody goes, get out of Boise State, move to the SEC, because he had a son with special needs and his doctors were in Olympia, Washington. One of the reasons why he took the job with the Huskies. And Boise, that trip from Idaho, was only a couple hours at the max compared to having to fly across country. So those are things we don't pay attention to, but we know as family and people out there listening in life, those are the most important things. Especially we're dealing with barges and Hurricane Sally and people having to go around on Avalon to go home right now. The little things in life become sometimes not that big of a deal when life gets in the way. And for Billy, a good human. That was my side on the Billy Donovan, but to get back, because I know the floor should be yours right now on a little Derek Carr talk, because you were boasting. I'll give you the floor here.
I just think that we talked about it. He wanted some respect, and I think he deserved respect before. I have not once said that Derek Carr is elite. I'm still not going to say that. But yeah, it's still got a long way to go. But my point being, which you talked about the draft and things like that, quarterbacks just don't go out and perform when they have nobody around them. mean, it just doesn't happen that way. And Derek Carr's been a guy that has got the short end of the stick many times because look at the guys that they've had. I mean, before they drafted, plenty of these guys, Jalen Richard, I mean, who now is a third string, second string type guy, was their main guy. There was no Darren Waller. There was with Jared Cook, and Jared Cook was okay, but it wasn't the same. Offensive line still has some problems, but they're better. I thought they played really well. But remember, Saints fans, have hope. Don't buy into this whole thing. Drew Brees is washed up. He's done. Michael Thomas, I think, if anything, it proved how important Michael Thomas is to that offense because, no offense to your boy Traquan Smith, he's not a number 1 or a number 2. He's not meant to be, though, and that's okay. But Emmanuel Sanders was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be. In fact, I don't think he had a catch until the last couple minutes of the game. And what that tells you is Emmanuel Sanders, for a lot of people that thought when he came in he was going to be the difference maker, he's not. He's a quality receiver that you can rely on to be there, but he's not going to go out and have 10, 15 catches like a Michael Thomas. It's not going to happen because it hasn't happened.
He could have been a difference maker if Jimmy G could have just plopped the ball a few inches shorter.
But the thing, you go back and you look at it.
No, he's not going to be an everyday guy.
Like Michael Thomas, that offense evolves around Michael Thomas. I mean, he's just an elite receiver, and it's okay that offense revolves around him. It's okay for people to look at that if you're Saints fans and say, yeah, that's true. Because you know what? He's coming back. He'll be healthy. Things are going to be all right, Saints fans. That's why I said today on Talk Football, that's why it's so important they got that Week 1 win against Tampa because now they're 1-1. They're not 0-2. They could have been 0-2, but they're not. So moving forward, things are going to be okay. I know they got the Packers this week. That's going to be rough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the Saints, that's going to be a tough game. You got to figure it out quick. But remember, Marcus Davenport was out too. That's big. When you have Cam Jordan and those guys, look, Cam Jordan's great. Cam Jordan needs a partner, and that's what Marcus Davenport and those guys are. He didn't have him last night, and that can make a difference in a ball game like that. But I will say this, Derek Carr, congratulations. You had your moment. That's great. Let's move forward from this. But John Gruden kicking that field goal there at the end with Daniel Carlson, I didn't think it was the right call because I was thinking, okay, well, this offense has struggled. Make them go the whole entire field. And Daniel Carlson could have made that from 75 yards. That was just beautiful.
War Eagle right there.
That was beautiful.
One of the, if you Google Carlson, Auburn Tiger kicker, it's going to be a list like the McCowns, but congratulations. It was a nice kick right there. Got it done. 34-24 win right there. 11 unbeaten teams remain right now in the NFL overall. My family's got all jokes today. Look at this. My dad's starting that one up. My brother was just talking about Blake Bortles now being over there having a chance to sign. No, he's
you don't claim him?
Not popping Bortles for him right there.
He's the one UCF guy you don't claim.
I'm not saying I don't claim him. I'm just saying that he's not my guy. I mean, he played at UCF.
Not one big family, huh?
Well, you're not going to say you met Austin Appleby at the mall. You're going to be like, that's my guy?
That's my guy.
That is your guy?
That's my guy.
John Brantley, that's your
That's
guy?
my guy.
Get out of here.
But guess what? Tim Tebow's also my guy. So I'm okay.
Well, in this case here, Bortles is ready to go after Drew Lock will be out 3 days. And Brett says, good luck with that COVID test. I don't trust Blake Bortles to pass anything. So there you go.
Fair enough.
Just full of these. It's like Lebitard show out of nowhere. Looking right now at what's going on for high school football. I know a lot of people are trying to get back to normal. Their kids go back to school tomorrow. I know my daughter goes back to school tomorrow as well. But there will be games Friday for Santa Rosa County. Milton versus Gulf Breeze on Friday night. Navarre versus Pace. And then for Escambia County, the games will be on Saturday with games right there, Washington and Tate. Washington will host Tate after a great season. Coach Wine's done a great job right there, and we talked to him earlier a couple weeks ago, as well with Catholic hosting Pine Forest at 7 o'clock. The Washington game's at 1 p.m., by the way. And then Escambia, West Florida will be a 2 p.m. game on Saturday. So those are the game times. You guys now, I know with WFGX, will be doing the Gulf Breeze Milton game, correct?
That is correct.
I believe we're scheduled with ESPN Pensacola to do the game with
Tate at Washington.
Tate at Washington. I got to get with Blab. I know Randy and the guys, Ryan and all the folks on the call as well. We got we're hitting the trifecta pot right here. All the games covered right now, so we're on top of it.
I do want to mention too, coming up on Thursday because I told him I would do this on Talk Football with Coach K. You'll like this, too. Danny Sheridan's going to join us at 12:15.
What is that? Wait a second.
Don't even play.
What is this? You'll like this? Danny
will.
Sheridan, by the way, USA Today lines maker and gambling odds. I don't know what that point was, but I will enjoy it.
I know.
What time is that at? Hold on.
12:15 on Thursday.
I'm not writing this down.
I posted it on our ESPN Facebook page, and on that note, to go ahead and get this out of the way here, the Talk Football NFL and College Pick'em contest has just been posted on our Facebook page as well. So go on there, follow the rules, and hey, submit your picks. You could win a $20 gift card to Hotspot Barbecue and free range time from Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range.
13-point teasers. That's all. No, there's nothing. no teasers on there as well, right there. But Hotspots is the.
Oh my gosh!
There's not one person on a day that you have not eaten that's drove by right there
before
on
you
9th
even
Avenue
get there,
and just the cookers and that smell.
You smell it before you get there.
Not only that, when you see a bunch of Pensacola PD or Escambia PD that are in their Suburbans or out there in front, their Tahoes, and they're already eating. That's probably a good place.
Yep.
That usually are hardworking, and thank you to all of our police officers, firefighters, first responders, our EMTs, our lines workers, still out there. There's still very few. I think most of us, we paid attention to everybody being like, we want power. We can't now. Like, there's a few people left, and everybody else is like, we're good. We're back to normal. They're eating. You can see people at their house through their window, opening their window, cheersing with wine and cutting steaks, and the guy across the street's like, come on, man. Like still sitting there sweating it out. I haven't wore a jacket today. It's so kind of. But when it comes down to, they've worked their tail off.
Yeah, they have.
And worked their ass off. And they've got, you can say it.
You can say that.
It's an appropriate word. You can.
People will be
I've
like,
checked that,
hell
but
yeah.
They have. Big Papi can yell some things during certain times, but we're not going to go that far. But, hey, look, I'm telling you what. It is. It's amazing how quickly they did. We have a lot ahead of us. I know a lot of people today, the big thing has been about the picture of showing people I'm here in Gulf Breeze proper and showing how far they have to loop around on Avalon to get to work right across a bridge. So like one Yasiel Puig throw over the 3 Mile Causeway. But that's how it is right now. I'm already on the phone with some people from Norfolk, Virginia, that own ferries. I'm just saying, the old carports.
You see that I think 22 of Skanska's ferries got loose. 22.
If you're ready to do jet skis, dual jet skis, man. Get back quick. Just thousands of them coming out there. Quick kayak.
A guy in his business suit just on a jet ski.
Let's bring back the old Vikings. The Norse, they're cheap. Whoa. Get a bunch from Scandinavia coming through there.
If you got a boat going back and forth.
I saw that.
Haul some people.
There's a couple ferry passes, and
no, just general boats. Get your boats out there.
But they're talking $50 a day. Some of these people. Now, if you're the doctor that needs to get over there, OBGYN or anybody out there, yeah, you could probably afford that. But some of us, that's going to hit into. You're going to hit into people. They're going to be losing money going to work.
3 to 6 months. You're going to be doing this.
Well, some people at $50 a day though are pretty much going to be spending more time on that ferry to break even on their life. So it's not going to, that's, it is what it is. Looking right now at the AP College Poll, 3 teams in the top 15 right there from the state of Florida. How about that? Your Gators checking in at number 5, the Miami Hurricanes at 12, and UCF at number 13. All legit teams this year until probably the Big Ten comes back for like getting into the college playoff. Florida's still on that list. Miami still has to prove, but they're not in Clemson's class. UCF's going to have an easier schedule, but like when you're making it about Cincinnati versus them, I'm not ready. It's not the same team without Mackenzie Milton. We'll take our Peach Bowl and our fake parade down in Orlando.
Why did in the coaches poll are we putting Ohio State number 10?
Wait. Is that where they're putting them right now?
Yeah, in the coaches poll. Yeah, they're number 10. They got 2 first-place votes, but they're number 10.
Have they've put in the Big Ten teams back in?
Yes, because Penn State is 13, Wisconsin is 17, Michigan is 19, Minnesota's 22. So there you go.
I think they're doing this based on. Well, they're just doing this based on
salty coaches.
Yeah, they are. It's because they've actually these teams have won games and they haven't. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, wait. Ohio State is what again?
Is 10. Texas is 9.
Get out of here.
Auburn is 8.
Get out of here. What would that spread be? Even right now, Ohio State has had what a couple weeks, not even to practice. I know they've been sort of going through the drills still, but getting into game experience, it's a different. When you think you're playing 2021 or you're playing in a couple weeks to a month, it's a lot different. So Ohio State versus Texas, I'm saying minus minus 17, Ohio State.
Yeah, I would go that.
But they'd be an underdog according to the AP poll right there, right? The coaches poll.
Coaches poll, yeah.
Get it out of here. Billy Donovan, the new coach of the Chicago Bulls, led the Florida Gators to 2 national title wins right there and was able to get the guys to come back. That's a big thing. When you talk about coaches, to be able to get players to come back and play for you. Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer. These guys could have got paid and maybe not starred right away. Now, Noah and Horford would have been the first overall pick that year. Looking back now, saying that sounds a little terrible, but he would have. Al Horford ended up having a better NBA career, still playing right there for the Sixers, but he's also the kind of guy that they all came back and won another one. We're able to go out there, beat some of the old teams. Big country Reeves out there, Oklahoma State. UCLA with Ryan Hollins. I remember these teams. Dating back right there. Beat UCLA. That was actually the Greg Oden team. I'm dating. Now I'm going way back. Jeez, I'm old. George Zedek on those UCLA teams. Now I'm dating way back there, back on the talking about the old teams with the Meat Cliff and some of the guys. Meat Hook, I think, for Florida. Now, Corliss Williamson. Gosh, I've watched way too much Florida basketball. I just dated, I think 12 years on a team with Big Country Reeves right there. But that was like 1994. They were able to beat Ohio State, Greg Oden, before Greg Oden was so upset he sent some picks after the game. And then also they were able to go out there and take care of UCLA. So Ohio State and UCLA to win back-to-back titles. Let's go ahead and take a break. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
Calling all FSU fans, Tomahawk Talk is here. Tune every Wednesday afternoon, 1 till 2 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM to get the latest on Florida State football. Hear from the experts, the superfans, and even some former players about what's happening on the field from the sidelines to the locker room. It's Tomahawk Talk every Wednesday afternoon starting at 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
Presented in part by Gross & Schuster, attorneys at law.
It's J.M. Wood Auction's 47th annual 4-day machinery and truck auction, September 22nd through the 25th in Montgomery, Alabama. Over 3,000 pieces of machinery and trucks from Alabama Power, the state of Alabama, and others selling to the highest bidder. All J.M. Wood auctions feature live online bidding at jmwood.com. That's September 22nd through the 25th. Start bidding now at jmwood.com. LIC 1137.
O'Reilly Auto Parts has what you need to keep your engine performing at its best. Our professional parts people will help you select just the right products for your car and budget, like 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional or high mileage motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $28.99. Plus earn double O rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Locally owned Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Tadalafil, the FDA-approved generic for Cialis, is now here, and the cost savings are huge. Save 80% on the 20-milligram tablets, 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy, 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, and cash in on the savings today.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, National Service Officers.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices.
Paralyzed Veterans of America represents them.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Get all the health care they need.
Making a person's house adaptable.
And we also focus on getting them a job.
We help our veterans for free.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Are you craving something unusual and exciting? A new adventure? Visit the Adventure Gurus at Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida. From commuters and daily drivers to long-haul tourers and off-road explorers, they'll match you to the perfect ride with a proven process that gets you on the road quickly, cost-effectively, and safely. Adventure Motorsports is an authorized dealer for BMW, Indian, Ducati, Suzuki motorcycles, as well as Polaris, Slingshot. Find your adventure at Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida. Visit AdventureMotorsportsNWF.com.
Chad Brilliante here, taking a look at the AP Top 25 in college football going into Week 3. Clemson remains number 1 after a 37-13 win over Wake Forest. Number 2, Alabama travels to Missouri in 2 weeks. Oklahoma 3 after the victory over Missouri State. Georgia and Florida 4 and 5. Notre Dame's first ACC win puts them at number 7, with Auburn 8, Texas 9, and Texas A&M 10. After an upset win over Iowa State, Louisiana Lafayette is number 19, with Army at 2-0, 22, and some love for App State at 23.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Yeah, I'd rather be a lover than a fighter. 'Cause all my life I've been fighting. Never felt a feeling of comfort. All this time I've been hiding, and I never had someone to come on. I'm so used to.
And welcome back, Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Happy Tuesday, September 22nd on this day, 13 years ago. Mike Gundy was a man. He was 40. Now he's 53, wearing a mullet and wearing some shirts that are upsetting some people. So he was ready to go. If it was up to Mike Gundy, we'd already be about, whole season in? We'd be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, we'd have started in May.
He would have been like, Coach, the regular season doesn't actually start until that first week of Labor Day. Nah, let's just get it rolling. Like, it's the opposite
He
of what
wanted
we're
May
playing.
1st to be out there and get back to practice.
He's a man. You don't say that, though. Like, come after me. He's told people. He told COVID that, everything. Come after me. I'm a man.
People with mullets tend to tell people to come after him.
He's probably told a couple people of those newspapers they're garbage over the last couple months, too, I'm sure. Reading some of the
yeah,
I'm sure.
Probably has.
And the editor is garbage. That was 13 years ago right there. Looking right now, there are other things going on. It's funny how when SEC football begins this week, a lot of things come to a halt. When college football began a couple weeks ago, and we're watching games and all excited just to know that football was back, whether it was Iowa State versus Louisiana. I'm still calling them Lafayette, by the way. It's hard to just say University of Louisiana.
What do I say?
I don't know what this.
Lafayette.
Trying to juke us here. But all of the stuff, when it comes down to those games, we were just happy football was back. Now, this officially, it seems like this thing has been, the whole high school football, and it really has been out of their control just like us. And I'm so tired of watching the Weather Channel knowing that I turned it by and it said tracking something else, beta or someone.
Over in Texas, yeah.
Never liked those fish anyway. And they're going to be out there right now, and
jerks.
There's more on the way. I'm sure we're going to have a cyber cyclone coming at us. That's where the murder hornets are going right now. They're out there. They're joining in the Caribbean. They're migrating out of the Caribbean, out of a new palm tree. But what we need to know is that high school football, it's been forever. Task force meetings, getting it all. This Friday, games will begin. And then this Saturday, more games for our area. Now, we watched Spanish Fort and some of the teams down the road already getting rolling for Alabama, and they're about 4 weeks in. But the difference is we're getting football back here, and people are excited for that. Then on top of that, Saturday we get SEC football back. So the football realm is going to feel much more normal when this week hits. And you get those SEC matchups. You get to hear Gary and Brad. I expect they're doing the game. Maybe not in the same booth. Vern definitely is not getting near that booth right now. And then, he's not anyway, by the way. And then you're going to have all the games across the board. The ones that you maybe didn't want to watch, but you're going to watch still because it's still football, like Army versus Cincinnati. Nobody's given the Black Knights any love, by the way. You see that? They're like a 14, 15-point underdog. And I know Cincinnati's a pretty good team, but they're not getting any love.
We were an underdog in World War II, right?
Yes, on the beaches right there, Normandy right there. Yeah, that'd be a great speech.
America.
Monken's still the coach, right? Yeah. Get out there. If he started with that speech, oh my God.
Get Lou Holtz. What Lou Holtz was talking about.
That would be so cool. That'd be the best motivation speech ever.
Oh, let's get it going right now.
They go over to Luke Fickell. They're like, Luke, what do you think of that? And he's like, I'm not touching that.
We're done.
We're good right here.
Yep.
But
just here to play some football.
They're able to win. Navy's able to come back and beat Tulane after Tulane right there. Yeah, Tulane. That
actually sounds like that would fit over in Louisiana.
It's a character in one of the books I read. Tallulah and Tulane right there with a mouse. Now, the thing is, they're back and they're doing well. Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Jeff Wayne's probably going to be a little upset about this. Postponed due to the virus. This is going to happen. Everybody, there are going to be those people right now that latch onto this and go, aha,
Got
we
'em.
told you. It's over.
Got 'em.
Done. Season's done. I can't believe all this.
Get him out of here.
Brennan out there for USA Today.
Yeah, that's going to be the new norm. But by the way, throwing this out there because they're right down the road from us, Thursday, UAB is at South Alabama. Tickets?
UAB at South Alabama?
UAB at South.
There we go.
It's going to be on ESPN, 6:30.
Got to get Steve Campbell on the show. I need to call Steve Barnes. Steve Barnes has done some games with Steve.
Barnes.
Throughout the, no, not jumping Steve. Steve,
Jumping
if you're out
Steve
there
Campbell,
listening.
okay.
Steve and I have done games together. Steve has been a longtime journalist for sports in the area for college football.
$77.
And I know he's friends with Steve, so we've got to get Coach Campbell on there.
$77.
70. That's how much tickets are for average right now?
Yes, it's South Alabama.
They
Oh,
expecting-
see, that's a juke. Okay. That must be the average. All right.
No,
never
that's
mind.
the overall price of what they're expecting.
Because okay,
I'm
still
just kidding,
$48. And that gets you in the second row of seating, which is still not very high because it's a smaller stadium.
You know, if South
25,000.
Alabama starts to become a good team, I can latch onto that one as well.
Yeah, figured. I might even do that.
No,
too.
not figured on that. Brittany went to South Alabama for her undergrad, and they got her master's from LSU.
My best friend went to South Alabama. So
LSU, go Tigers. No, best friends. Now you're
that's
you're
part
really,
of the family.
That's
how we do it.
family.
By the way,
come on. Now.
I'm down with this anyway. They have a Michelob Ultra Terrace. How about that? Looking at their stadium right now.
Media pass.
Yeah, can we just get the Michelob
Not
pass?
100% on the Deion Sanders, Warren Sapp, and
Okay, I
and
posted
Terrell
that
Owens. I
on
did
our-
too. Well, that was first
then
off, that was a Fox and
kicked it.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, first off though, here I did, and then I put in quotations. It's not officially like this is not set in stone. Now I'm sure those guys might show up to practice now that they've been called out. People are like you got to be there. Warren Sapp's like sitting in Miami, like I don't have to do blank. Like what do you mean?
Show up on game day.
But those guys right there. First off, that doesn't make for a great football team. I want to make that clear as well. Like just because you put Warren Sapp, Deion Sanders, and you get Terrell Owens on the field, that doesn't. I've never seen them with like a Coach Klein playbook from the Waterboy. So let's not like jump to conclusions that this is going to be a good team. But what we do know is if they can't win in all the HBCUs for recruiting, then I don't know what to say if that was the case. Now, they're not going to be there. We know Deion's going to be the coach at Jackson State, but the Warren Sapp rumors with as well Terrell Owens, which would be the sweetest coaching staff ever. It's like the Blue Wahoos right here for our very own minor league baseball team that have the ownership team of Quinn Studer, Bubba Watson, and Derek Brooks. That's pretty sweet.
We have a lot of good 11 o'clock games on Saturday, by the way. I don't know if you look at the schedule like the times. I knew the games we played.
I'm waiting for Danny Sheridan.
Florida plays Ole Miss at 11 on ESPN.
Okay.
Kentucky plays Auburn on the SEC Network at 11 o'clock. And then the most important game of the afternoon is actually at 11. Your UCF Knights taking on East Carolina. So how about that? Oklahoma plays Kansas State.
27-point favorite over Pirate Nation right there. Greg Smith, if you're out there listening from Gulf Breeze Rotary. I think I got to call Jeffrey D. Jeff, if you're out there listening, or I know we have a date coming up here to speak at the Gulf Breeze Rotary. We do it every year for our picks. You might be able to slide in. You probably have to make him pay for breakfast if you're out there listening. You're part of that, but we do it every year. How George?
The
and
Gator
those
faithful,
folks
they'll
Big
take
Bendy
care.
and all that?
They'll take care of me.
They are. Most of those people are. A lot of them are good Florida Gator fans, so that's going to be a little different. I think Jim Reeves is part of that group, and he's a big Florida State fan, so I don't think that's going to work out. But overall, yeah. Let's go ahead and say that's going to be a good slate of games to kick that off. I got to find out what Tuesday this is. Was it this morning? I think it's next week. Okay. Now I'm confused. I was like,
there's so many games this week now that the SEC's playing.
There is. And we're also in the thick of, remember, how many people know, like, Major League Baseball playoffs are next week?
I know.
I mean, the playoffs are next week. You got the Padres in. Ho, everybody. Hey, they're a fun team to watch. But then you've got Red Sox are not close. I don't have to live that one out. Are your Reds in? Aren't you guys
right
out?
Now they're
You're in right now?
We're battling, but right now we're in. At this point, we're in.
All right. Big red machine right there.
We'll see.
Are
It's
they
not
gonna
over.
bring back-
It's not over. They can still screw this up.
Like Tom Brenneman?
Well, hopefully not. I don't think they're going to do it that bad.
Tommy Thrall, the voice right there of the radio calls. I'll be listening.
Yeah, jumping Tommy Thrall. Yeah.
That's not everybody gets that. Don't add the jumping part.
Can we
That's
get
a
Tommy?
very big honor to
let's
get that.
Tommy back on the show.
Jumping Joe Ingles earned that honor, and you're just adding.
Let's just get Tommy back on the show because last time, remember, you were out, and I got him to come on the show or whatever, talk about the Reds and the MLB season. That was when they were still arguing about what they were going to do. But can we just get him on there and then be like, all right, jump in Tommy Thrall here and see what he says?
I'm glad you made it clear the one day I was out for the show that's when you got Reds baseball talk on. Now to get Tommy back talking, he can join us anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're gonna call him Jumping Tommy Thrall. And just not say anything.
I take a lot of credit in the reason why Tommy is where he is today, as I do for many, and why I say that before somebody cuts this like I'm done with this guy. The reason is we called games together for about 5 or 6 years. We were the host for the old ESPN Pensacola as well, and we became friends over the years. He became the voice of the Wahoos. I would sit in with him during the games. Our stations cover the games, but I think he realized working with me that's the point he needed to get out of this city and pursue other dreams. And he was like, you know what, I'm tired of being in the same booth. This guy smells. I don't like him. And he went on to be a Red. So, ho. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I can't take credit on that. All right, Broncos signed Blake Bortles. How about that right there?
Jumping Blake Bortles.
Big news. Now, what a terrible week of injuries. Somebody, how many people have already given up on fantasy football after a couple weeks?
I'm glad I didn't play. This is just more of my point.
What if you played with a complete group of nobodies and you thought you conned them into the entire draft?
Now you're number one.
No, imagine you were and you just made them pick their teams and they're fans of teams like the Jacksonville and others, and you're sitting there, you're like, guys, I got Christian McCaffrey, I got Saquon Barkley, I got Michael Thomas on my team, and you're like, you week one lose every game, you're out. Raheem Mostert, oh my gosh. Even defense, I got the Niners with Nick Bosa. No. None of this is happening. What a terrible week for injuries overall. It's the worst 1 week I've ever seen. Gotta say.
I drafted Jarrett Stidham. For some reason, he's still not on the field.
They all were on the cover of Madden. What if Madden did that and they did an anniversary pick? Oh, my goodness. The backlash, they didn't even ask. They put every star from every team as an anniversary addition to the NFL. Guys are like, no.
There's a Madden curse. Here we go this year.
What's a better Madden curse? Peyton Hillis or Dante Culpepper?
Oh my God, Peyton Hillis.
Ooh, but Dante was actually Peyton though only had 1 year. I don't think everybody was ready to deem Peyton Hillis this god of football, but
which is more the reason why he never should have been on it.
I agree.
That's
but
what I'm
then
saying.
Dante Culpepper was actually pretty solid in Minnesota, chucking it up to Chris Carter and Randy Moss, and then he just became pride of UCF. Watch your words. Somehow it fit 2 quarterbacks that haven't played in the NFL in years, in Blake Bortles and Dante Culpepper into this conversation. Mackenzie Milton. Let's go to break. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
Go Gators.
Hey! Is more always better? Hey! Sometimes you just don't need more. Like when it comes to Michigan auto reform. If you have health insurance, including Medicare or Medicaid, you may not need more insurance. Ask an Allstate agent about your options and lower your costs, not your standards. There's no better time to get a quote from Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call a local agent.
Prices vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, availability, and coverage selected. Not applicable in California. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, National Service Officers.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices.
Paralyzed Veterans of America represents them.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Get all the health care they need.
Making a person's house adaptable.
And we also focus on getting them a job.
We help our veterans for free.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
Hurricane season is upon us, and although we aim to bring you the latest news in sports, we're committed to bringing the Pensacola community the latest updates and information during the 2020 hurricane season. In collaboration with our sister stations, News Radio 92.3, AM 1620, and Cat Country 98.7, stay up to date with breaking weather news and updates on the biggest storms impacting Northwest Florida by checking our Facebook pages at Cat Country 98.7, News Radio 92.3, and ESPN Pensacola.
Even though Napa is a nationally known name, nearly all of our stores are built from the ground up by local owners and families, people you might call neighbors. So as America starts opening back up for business, we'll be here, there, and everywhere, doing what neighbors do to keep their communities moving forward. So whether you stop by a Napa Auto Parts store or Auto Care Center, you can count on Napa know-how.
Your local Napa dealers want to remind you this football season, they are proud to be Americans.
Hi, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each and every day on Blab TV. A reminder, coming up this week, Tomahawk Talk will be tomorrow, 1 to 2. I know you'll be back with Talk Football with Coach K each and every afternoon from 12 to 1. You got Danny Sheridan coming on later in the week from USA Today, one of the lines makers right there, and really one of the gurus when it comes to any of the sports lines. You hear him on Paul Feinbaum all the time from 2 to 5. Now, 24 years ago on this date, Auburn played a game against LSU. They lost, but there was a barn burner, literally. It was a barn burner. There was a barn in the back, and it was just on fire. Now, you want to talk about dedication of SEC fans. And I've talked to a few now since I posted that were actually at the game. But you want to talk about dedication of a guy that was sitting there, and they're all watching this fire get closer to the stadium. And, like, lady looks back over, and it's like, woo! We're like, third down, let's make some noise. Come on, boys. Like, there was a fire literally right behind them during this time. It's a big third down play against the Tigers. Rival right there. Now that, you know you're a fan at that moment.
Roll Tide.
It's completely the worst thing you could have said during that Auburn take right there. Billy Donovan, Chicago Bulls, end of the Bulls. There is, if you have not heard, the times. Yeah, it is Go Gators for you. The times have changed for a lot of the games right now in high school football. Escambia, West Florida will be a 2 p.m. kickoff right there at Emmett Smith Field. You also have Washington hosting Tate at 1 p.m. on Saturday. These are Saturday games. Catholic hosting Pine Forest at 7 p.m. All Saturday slates. And then on Friday, I love how I do. Go backwards
Yeah.
here. Friday, as scheduled is what it usually is for Santa Rosa County. Milton will play Gulf Breeze and Navarre against Pace. So those games will still be scheduled. Remember, if you're heading out to the games or anywhere, you probably know you don't want to hear it right now, but save that room and the time with Avalon and having to go over to the Garcon Point Bridge.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
You live off of Creighton. You do not need. What do you mean? Oh, you do have to
go
go
there.
Oh, yeah,
game.
That's right.
Yes, we're covering the game
all right.
with FGX. Yeah,
that's right. Going to make you work all the way till 7 that night. We'll be looking right now at some of the other stuff going on right now. We talked about Notre Dame, Wake Forest postponed. You know what? This is a tough situation. Some of the players, they didn't have enough right now based on 9 more positive tests. They're taking safety precautions, but remember, the Big Ten still hasn't even started their season. There will be some wiggle room to make these dates up, the possibility of that. However, these games are going to happen. We knew that going in. There were going to be teams. Baylor versus Houston got postponed last week. There will be games that get postponed, and then guess what? They'll be able to either make it up or they don't, but the season will go on. Just like baseball. Remember when everybody was saying the Marlins? Can't freak out here, man. Got to keep our composure. Marlins had like 17 tests against the Phillies. They end up putting a halt to it. Derek Jeter came out and said, look, if anybody knows about wanting to go out on the town afterwards, sign autographs for, quote, kids, right? When they leave my house at 3 a.m. And Derek Jeter would know that. But the thing was, Miami ended up not following protocol. Then they got their act together. Miggy Rojas' batting average went down a little from his like 700 to start the season. And then you had a situation where most of the teams were able to follow protocol. You had a couple games missed with the Cardinals. You had a couple games missed with a few other teams. But overall, it's pretty solid.
Marlins making the playoffs, by the way.
I know, I saw that. Jesus Aguilar, man, that guy hits everything.
All the jokes about the Marlins now they are in the playoffs.
They made moves. It would be a Marlins-type move to, out of all the years, it looks like you were about to ruin the start of baseball. You never paid anything for anybody. You got rid of literally 3 MVPs. I mean, think about dating back to what they had Giancarlo Stanton. They had Christian Yelich. Marcell Ozuna was close. I guess.
You know what they remind me of
giving a little too much
the
love.
Major League movie where the owner gets rid of all the star players and she's trying to have the crappiest roster. So because they're in Cleveland and she's trying to move the team to like Miami or something like that, some nice place. Because I remember her husband owned the team. I forget what Major League movie
and they took off a piece of the
clothing.
clothing.
And then they end up going and winning it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this reminds me of.
Oh, that was definitely
Marlins
Major League right there, yeah.
Yes. But
Willie
that's what
Mays
this reminds
Hayes,
me of with the Marlins. Like, you got a bunch of guys that people are like, wait, that guy's still in the league? Or this guy used to be a speed skater? What the? And they're going to be in the playoffs. That's 2020
It would
for
be
you.
2020 in a nutshell if they win it all.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that if you get the Marlins or the Padres and they win the World Series, this would be 2020. The Padres got a legit shot, but
it'd be more fun if the Marlins won it.
It would be fun.
Because of the team.
They've been buyers. They went after Starlin Marte. He's not a cheap penny right there.
Even though the Reds have been disappointing for so long, I would rather see, if they were going to win it all, the Marlins win it all over the Reds this year, just because that's 2020. Like, that'll be history books forever, and then they'll go back to being bad next year.
My favorite player is now the Toronto Blue Jay, by the way, Alejandro Kirk. If you do not see Captain Kirk right there, beaming up a 4-for-4 night. Now, he did this at a whopping 5'7", 280, and I think that's being fair. You want to talk about a con job right here. I just went, not Bob Crafton, but look at what they have him listed in right now on the website.
220?
5'9". First off, he's not 5'9" near anything.
He's not 220 either.
No. He's not,
this guy's built like an ice cream cone.
No, this guy makes everybody else. We joke about the Dustin Pedroias or David Ecksteins and the guys that can make everybody else feel better about themselves being like 5'8", 170. There's some guys like Greg Litton. We go out and, Greg and I will grab a beer and he's 6 foot, 180 pounds when he plays. Not the biggest guy. There's some guys that you see and they're just huge human beings. You see Adron Chambers around here. Guy probably played at what, 5'11", 190. I don't know. Adron, if I'm shorting you an inch or two, I apologize. You have there. But if it comes down to Alejandro Kirk, watch just go ahead and Google, if you're sitting in line at the bridge or anything right now, check out Alejandro Kirk, because this video is a guy that makes everybody on their quarantine feel better about themselves. And some people said maybe he's been, he's just a little ripped, like bigger. No, this guy flat out has like the gut that goes over the belt. He can
out-drink you.
He's got the gut that goes over the belt. This is not a baseball. This is not an athlete's body. He's shaped like a bowling pin. As many of us, not even dad bod he can't go that far. But this guy went 4-for-4. He never played outside of single A. He goes out there last night for the Toronto/Buffalo Blue Jays and goes 4-for-4, beats the Yankees of all team. Man, it was fun to watch. But if we can get that, I'll go back to that. Look, well, that doesn't even do. You have to show that. That's
but
sort
the camera
of
there. The camera starts to focus a little bit.
Okay, all right. Now that you got that, but that's still even being too kind
but
for
it's
him.
Tough.
On that.
The guy, but once
just
again,
watch
the guy.
The video on that.
Yeah, the guy is just straight up built like an ice cream cone, like just big, and then his legs get a little bit smaller toward the end.
He was actually breathing hard, trying to make it around the bases after the home run. He was.
He didn't think he was gonna get 4 hits.
5'9", 220. What a lie right there. Like Maurice Jones-Drew was that size.
I think I may have found a good one.
There's some really good ones. Right?
Yeah.
You don't have to go far. Look, there are a lot of guys, and this is more about like the underdog story that could.
Yeah,
but
we're not making fun of this guy.
He's my
This
new
is
favorite
just-
player. This is
yes,
awesome.
because this is the guy that we're sitting there drinking the beer, out of shape and everything. This guy is just like you. He's built just like all of us, and he is going out there going 4 for 4 against the Yankees.
It's a little disrespectful to the people that do work out, but not all of us. But
no,
yeah.
I'm saying, but the people know. I mean, look, we're not all superstars.
Not everybody. I know I usually sit for the show, but not all of us can be 6'7", 250. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, but
yes, what, like Fred Robbins?
If I keep growing my
6'7"?
hair, that's when I shave my head, you were an inch taller. But now I think I got an inch as well on top of that. I had a classic playing when I played the playing weight, good old 6 foot, 200 exactly. That sounds like a good athlete. I'll end it right there. That's all you need to know right there. Sports Drive coming back right here.
For your Florida Gators Chomp Talk, I'm JP. The Florida Gators are chomping at the bit to get on the field for Saturday's matchup against the Ole Miss Rebels. Even though this will be a new-look Rebels team with Lane Kiffin at the helm, Florida, led by senior sensation and Heisman hopeful Kyle Trask, look to make this the year that Dan Mullen takes the SEC East title from Georgia. With Kyle Pitts, Trayvon Grimes, Kadarius Toney, Jacob Copeland, and a much-improved offensive line, this offense should have no shortage of firepower. That's your Florida Gators Chomp Talk. I'm JP.
It's J.M. Wood Auction's 47th annual 4-day machinery and truck auction, September 22nd through the 25th in Montgomery, Alabama. Over 3,000 pieces of machinery and trucks from Alabama Power, the state of Alabama, and others selling to the highest bidder. All J.M. Wood auctions feature live online bidding at jmwood.com. That's September 22nd through the 25th. Start bidding now at jmwood.com. LIC 1137.
For summer DIY projects, you know the Home Depot's always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Por un momento, deja a un lado tus preocupaciones y sumérgete en el maravilloso mundo del deporte junto a una banda de talentosos profesionales que siempre despiertan la polémica.
Jorge Ramos y su banda.
Una banda liderada por el relator de las Américas, Jorge Ramos, que te espera todas las tardes para compartir la emoción y la pasión por el fútbol.
Jorge Ramos y su banda.
Lunes a viernes, 4 de la tarde del Este, 1 de la tarde del Pacífico.
ESPN Deportes Radio, transformando la radio deportiva.
Getting to work is a little different right now. Your new commute may be to the kitchen, or the couch, or the basement. If your commute has changed, you could be saving money on car insurance. With pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate, you get the same reliable coverage you'd expect, but only pay for the miles you drive. Drive less, save more with Allstate. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote.
Price based on driving behaviors and includes a daily rate subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, National Service Officers.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices.
Paralyzed Veterans of America represents them.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Get all the health care they need.
Making a person's house adaptable.
And we also focus on getting them a job.
We help our veterans for free.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
The players, the teams, the games, the front office. We cover breaking sports news. If you miss it on your radio, check out the latest on Facebook or online at ESPNpensacola.com.
What's up, Pensacola? This is former Duke and NBA star Jay Williams. Catch my new show, Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin, every weekday morning from 5 to 9 on Pensacola's home to hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Chad Brillante, JP on the other side of the glass. If you're out there listening on radio, we know a lot of people still stuck in traffic. We feel for you. Someone's like, I don't care what he says while he's sitting here inside a studio with air conditioning and other stuff. But,
for me.
hey, we blame the barges. I'm not taking any of that. I'm not
I'm not putting up with this.
Safety week. What a clown show for them to put safety week during that. That guy's smug face on there. I'll never be able to get that.
When our fault, 22 barges.
Family's got the condo out there. I'm not officially on as like documented. You can only go on that side when the bridge gets going for work. If you live there or for work. Not an official member of the condo, but nobody feels bad once.
I feel bad for those folks in Gulf Breeze. I do. Have to go all the way around.
Man.
Especially like if you work right across the bridge, whatever. I get it. Everybody thinks different, but oh my goodness, that's got to be aggravating.
People would be if this was a hurricane situation where destruction happened because of the hurricane that wasn't preventable, you go, okay, Mother Nature. There's a lot of people that are still dealing with stuff right now. People that are waiting to get their fences or their pools are destroyed or their houses, their roof, getting tarps all over. I saw a guy with like 7 tarps on top. But this is something that could have been completely prevented, and it really stinks.
But Chad, they said they didn't have time to predict the storm's path. My common sense would kick in and go, just in case this thing decides, as long as you're in that cone or what, don't trust the cone first off. But if there's a chance, don't take a chance. Get it out of there. Simply said. Because don't tell me, well, it would have cost a lot of money, because what's it doing now? Now we're looking 3 to 6 months without a bridge. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not buying it. I get mistakes happen. That's a tremendous mistake.
Think about the guy that played Newman in Seinfeld and what he tried to do to get off the island from the dinosaurs to try to survive.
Think about that while we
They could have taken that effort to try to do something to get to that bridge and to those barges. Food for thought right there.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEVY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up in the second hour of the Sports Drive, we'll get to more high school news. Big week ahead for our teams in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. The Rock talked about maybe being the first owner to get back out there and suit up. Him versus Herschel. Let's see that matchup. Taking old man strength to a whole new level.
Emmett Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each every day on Blab TV. Chad Brillante, JP on the other side of the glass. Is it 2020? Oh, yeah. Crash is here. That's
Don't forget about Crash. I forgot we haven't
don't
said
forget
anything.
to turn your mic on. That's right.
I got him.
Crash is hanging out with us. He has.
Yeah, him and Mike.
His eyes are 2020. You know what I'm saying? Not 2020 vision, but the sight of his green eyes popping out of his face.
Between his
there.
eyes and his hair, he's having a good day every day.
That's right. That looks like my hair sometimes after a day at the beach. That's what
I could tell the power was off because when I came over that day,
oh gosh, yeah.
your hair just it looked somewhat normal. It was like,
it's never somewhat normal, but it's been that kind of week. Gosh, can we just get to 2021 already? But when it comes down to for sports fans and why you're probably listening to here, it really isn't a better time. If you take away the crowd and all this other stuff that is really essential, but when it comes down to just if you woke up in the morning and saw what games are on. You got the NHL playoffs. The Lightning get it done last night, tying the series up 1-1 with the Dallas Stars. So that's sort of our secondary team. The SPHL, it's an independent league. So they don't have any direct affiliation with the Tampa Bay Lightning, just like how the Wahoos have a direct relationship with the Minnesota Twins. That's their affiliate in AA baseball. The difference is they've sort of adopted the Lightning as that team. They've come down. They do the caravans at the school with everybody. Greg Harris. They got everybody out there on the ice. So it's sort of the team to root for. So the Lightning right now, they've got a 1-1 series tie in the NHL, Stanley Cup. Then tonight, you've got the L.A. Lakers. Snoop Dogg said it. Wait, no Clippers. And right now, faux shizzle, they're up 2-0 and looking to go up 3-0. Now, remember, if Denver wins one of the next two games and it's 3-1, it's not a bad bet to go and put your money on Denver because at that point, Brian Malone joked, their coach. He said, can we just start the series at 3-1? Because they were down 3-1 to the Jazz. They're down 3-1 to the Clippers. But kids and people that do math, don't count your blessings as you want to do this. That's like a guy up the bat being like, I'm a lot better with an 0-2 count. Be like,
all right, boss.
All right, cool. Give me. I can't find the strike zone anyway. Give me 2 free strikes. Thank you. We're not missing Alejandro Kirk's bat. Is it coming up here soon? I think he's, by the way. 5'7", 280 for Toronto.
They got him in the lineup?
Oh, yeah, he's playing today. Oh, they got it. You have to make it.
I don't know.
For all those fans showing up to the stadium?
They look packed. A lot of Blue Jays fans there. Buffalo.
That would have been one of those with fans that would have been out of control. That would have been so awesome.
Especially playing in Buffalo.
Looks cold there right now. Looks like it's cold. Chris Thompson, active head coach for the Florida State Seminoles coming up against Miami. Whoever's coaching this game, it's going to be tough. But if you didn't know, Thompson spent around 20 years with Coach Mike Norvell. He was the offensive line coach at Central Arkansas when Norvell was a wide receiver. Had the braids going on out there. The crust stash.
That needs to be his official picture.
That is awesome. We used it as an official picture when he got hired. Remember that? And
the Jack Del Rio days.
It makes if you use that picture after when it said he tested positive, for people to be like, yeah,
yep,
man,
that guy did.
Yeah, that
Wait,
guy.
COVID. He tested positive.
I probably was. Sure, he was out there at the club. Sure, he was asking for a little get low out there.
Is that a Boston accent?
No, I don't know what accent that was. It was the guy trying to get the guy asking for a new song up there at the
Wild
Come on, man.
There.
Get into that guy. Like a toothpick in the mouth right there. Some shyster. Saturday, they will play that game at 6:30 against number 12 Miami. Casher, smash it. This game will be close. It's sort of a broad comment based on what you think might be close, but within 10 points.
No, I don't. But here's the thing.
You're trying to talk yourself out of.
I'm trying to talk myself into believing it's going to be close, and the reason I do is because the Big Marv, that defensive line, if they can get pressure on De'Aaron King, if they can disrupt that run game a little bit, we haven't seen that yet. Louisville didn't do that. Louisville doesn't have the dudes up front that Florida State does on that defensive line. Now, offensively, Florida State's a mess right now, but defensively, that can impact this game greatly. I want to believe they can. But after what I've seen Miami do, looks, it's been a while since we've been able to see them score points like that. I just think it'd at least be 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's going to – you don't have Norvell, and they don't have enough time to figure out their offense right now. And if anything, we saw for the first time in a very long time, the Miami Hurricanes, they've got an offense that can put up points. Now, Louisville decided not to actually cover guys last week. It looked like they were playing with 7 guys on the field. Like, that was very embarrassing. 2 straight plays of 75-yard touchdowns. That's not supposed to happen. Florida State's got more speed. That's not going to happen again.
Louisville's got a good offense with Malik Cunningham and them. That's where I look at this game, and if Florida State could figure something out offensively, they could hang in this because of that. The defense isn't bad for Florida State. It's not.
No, it's not at all.
But it's can the offense find something? Can they find something to get going? Because if you can get pressure and slow Miami down, because Miami I think is going to score points with De'Aaron King, Cameron Harris, those guys. They're going to score some points. But if you could slow them down, but I don't think it matters because I think the defense for Florida State is going to be put in a bad situation a lot during this game.
It's going to be the spread will be I think it was 11.5 last time I checked. It's moving probably up. I'm sure that will move up
I'll check
pretty
it
quickly
right now.
Just based on all the trends. And remember, we pay more attention to Florida State football tomorrow. Tomahawk Talk at 1:00. I'll be sitting in usually with Terrence A. Gross.
11.5.
John Jarvis of the Gibson and Jarvis Law Firm will be in here with us. But when it comes down to the spread on that, from the outside looking in, and you hear Florida State lost to Georgia Tech, who's not that good of a football team. You have a team in Miami that just beat a number 14 ranked Louisville team and look good doing it. And then you have a situation where your head coach is not even there, not going to even be traveling with them after testing positive for COVID-19, and you have to go down to Miami, make that trip. Like all of those combined, it's not looking to be a good scenario. Like the chips are the only thing that is going right for Florida State is that they have an extra week, which usually in college football you don't get to say this much, but they have that extra bye. This week they had an extra week to rest, so you will have a healthier, and in football, a healthier Florida State than Miami compared to going up against it. But it's not. You're not. That's a lot. With that comment though, is more of a week 7, week 8. Week 11, week 12, compared to week 2 of the season. You should not have your whole team banged up in the first game, but it does help.
Well, I think
anybody would say it helps
more,
to get
you're going to find
6 more
out
days of rest.
The true grit of this team and the true mindset of this team because, we've seen the Florida State teams in the past. They come out just as flat because, look, they're upset and everything. We've seen good teams where they have that loss and they come out and they can't wait to get back on the field. What Florida State are we going to see? What happens if Miami jumps out quick to a couple touchdowns? Do they just quit? I mean, this is what Norvell is going to have to deal with. This is not – that's where when people say, well, this is a different Florida State team. No, this is the same team. He's trying to change the culture. There's still a lot of talent on that field for those guys. But if the mindset is not where it needs to be, you're not going to be in this football game, and you're going to get embarrassed. I mean, flat embarrassed. So I think for this game – the health isn't a big deal like you were talking about because this is basically week 2 for them or week 3 in the season or whatever it is. But I think it's more along the lines of where's their pride level because this is a game about pride. This is your rival. You're trying to work your way back up. Miami is now the hot team between these teams in Florida outside of UCF. I'm giving them credit, whatever, that's fine. But when you look at a team like Miami, they're back. That's what people believe. Now, we've said this before, but for Florida State, they have a great opportunity to come out and punch them in the mouth and say, look, we're not what you think we are. Go ahead and underestimate us because I guarantee you Miami is going to underestimate Florida State. But does Florida State take advantage of that? Yeah. That's what remains to be seen.
Last night, the Las Vegas Raiders get their first win at home, 34-24 in the debut right there. Derek Carr finding Alec Ingold. Nobody had that as the first ever touchdown. But getting the victory there, he was 28 of 38 for 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, also a nice solid game, came up with big plays. Darren Waller's a beast. He's really, really good tight end. He's the fastest tight end. And they've been building through the draft, too. You bring in a coach that you're paying $100 million in John Gruden. And he's got a lot of you have a lot of pressure, whether or not the Raiders have been really relevant, and you've got Patrick Mahomes in your own division. I like to put ketchup on things. Me and my girlfriend hang out. Yeah, he's winning championships. He's winning Super Bowl titles.
Now, right?
Yeah, fiance now. That's right.
Go.
That's right. Got that ring. $500 million contract and a ring. They've been together for a long time. And the fans like this is not
high
something
school,
new.
right?
No, it was like 2 weeks ago, and this is like, all right, something's getting pushed here. But they've been friends. Yeah, they were there when he was a Texas Tech quarterback. Think about that. But when it comes down to John Gruden, a lot of pressure because you're in Vegas. They expect results. You're going to get a couple drunks yelling at you when you actually get people in the stadium with Mark Davis and his $3 cut. And you're going to have a chance to cheer on a team that looks like they're getting better. But he's an offensive-minded coach. So what do? You draft Josh Jacobs. You get Henry Ruggs. You get guys like Brian Edwards from South Carolina, Darren Waller. They're building around an offense. Even Hunter Renfrow the year before I think was a solid pickup, sort of a guy that everybody loves in Clemson. They'll always love him for that out route. Some people call it a pick around here, but, that was a touchdown. Clemson wins the national title. Now,
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
They go out there and they win. Now, the teams, no shock, Kansas City, Green Bay, Seattle, Baltimore are all unbeaten, correct? No shock there. Not really that much shock, but also not one that everybody would have picked, would be Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. Correct on that?
I think, because Pitt, by the way, Pitt looks good. Big Ben looks good. This is going to be the story of their season. If Big Ben can stay healthy, this is a team that will compete for that division.
Shock value, though, Arizona, Chicago, Las Vegas, and L.A. Rams. Or should the Rams be bumped up to, average? I don't know.
No, the Rams look good.
You know why I'm putting them there? They beat Dallas, and they beat Philly to get to this. So,
the thing is, the way they beat Dallas was what was so impressive. This team, the offensive line, it looks like a different bunch. Jared Goff looks different. He looks like the old Jared Goff. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I know, and I like the slew of backs they have. Look, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks is gone. It's kind of his show. Him and Cooper Kupp, they look good. They've got good tight ends. In the defense with Aaron Donald and those guys, they're good. I didn't know what this team was going to. I dogged this team at the beginning of the year. Once again, I will say it how it is. I made a mistake so far, but this team looks really good, really impressive.
Tyler Higbee's very underrated. He's a solid tight end. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This team has weapons all over the field.
We didn't know who George Kittle or Travis Kelce were until 2 years ago. We knew Kittle was really good at Iowa. Think about it. They had both of those guys in Iowa at the same time, with him and Hawkinson, and that team was a solid group. But
one's a punch in the mouth.
Yes, but you look at a group right now with like the LA Rams. They're not a contender yet. It's way too early to look at some of these teams. But Vegas getting that win, and as a Saints fan, I wouldn't be. This isn't. We're done. You didn't have Michael Thomas. Remember, you didn't have Marcus Davenport, who puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. It wouldn't have been as easy for Derek Carr to complete those passes with Davenport coming around the end. And on the same part, you're going to a brand-new stadium. They're playing up even without the fans. It's their first game. A lot of people were gathering outside. Probably could hear it on the strip, the people all yelling, Raiders, getting ready for this game. So that's a game where you could see a team losing. Even the spread looked a little when we talked about it. It was moving down to 3. And most people wouldn't have a fresh Saints team after a victory over Tom Brady and the Bucs, only 3 points by a field goal over a team last year that was 5-11. It just usually you're not going to have that. But Raiders look a lot better overall when it comes down to the way they played. And I think deserving right now that they're going to be – will they compete, though, for that division? Are we ready to say that it's going to be competitive with Kansas City, even after we watch Kansas City struggle a bit with a solid defense in the Chargers but not much offense with Justin Herbert?
No,
they could have lost that game easily.
I don't think so, just because teams like Kansas City lose. Good teams find a way to squeak out those balls. I thought it was huge, just tremendous that they win that ball game because they just did not play very well. That was Kansas City, and that's going to happen. People need to forget. People need to understand Patrick Mahomes is still human. He's not going to go out for 16 straight games, and it could happen, but just ball out. Guys do have bad games. Sometimes teams have their number. Football's a weird game. Football's like baseball. You just never know. Just because you're the best, especially you're talking – this is not Clemson taking on the Citadel. This is NFL grown men going out there and competing. Any team can beat anybody on any day.
The NFL.
Yes, the NFL.
That's what people need to understand is even though we can sit here and say, look, I don't see anybody beating Patrick Mahomes right now. Next
They're not
week,
going to go 16-0.
What a great game. We've got Baltimore and Kansas City next Monday Night Football. That's the souffle with two sides right there. That's the 28-ounce USDA top choice tomahawk steak right there.
You're going to find out about both these teams.
Surf and turf, baby, with the lobster. You get, they're the real deal. These teams are and J.K. Dobbins with the addition right there,
perfect.
With Mark Ingram, that's already
great draft.
Ronnie Stanley already one of the best linemen. That's a good team, but I didn't have to tell you that. Looking right now at some of the other news right now, we talked about in the AP college poll, 3 top 15 teams in the state of Florida, the Gators, your Gators, now that you're on the wagon. Number 5, the Miami Hurricanes, at number 12, and UCF number 13. Notre Dame, their game against Wake has been postponed this week as we've already had the test going up at this point, and that's going to happen. If I see one more article, because people will be trying to push this, just like the Marlins, and cancel the season now, but that does not mean that the rest of college football is not going to move on. When you have a name like Notre Dame, it's going to resonate. Jeff Waynes isn't going to get to watch this game Saturday. The difference is, overall, this happened to Baylor Houston last week, and around our neck of the woods, people didn't hear about it as much. We're going to try to get Coach Gene Stallings on tomorrow. He usually joins us on Wednesdays, but 2020 has been a different year, and first off, he's 85, and he's out there taking care of his ranch in a tough year. So we've given him some weeks off. The season was a little different, but I'm going to call him tomorrow. He said call anytime, so we'll try to get him on the show and talk a little football with the legendary coach tomorrow. That game was probably important to them, right there near Waco and Baylor. Looking right now at what's going on around some of the other stories. Well, the fines with John Gruden and Sean Payton, $100,000 for violating mask protocols. There's like 2 sides to this. I'm gonna just go ahead and say, follow the protocol if you're the coach. At this point, they only really can blame themselves for losing this cash because there's 32 teams, and I believe now five coaches overall now have been fined. Vic Fangio. I'm not sure if Vic Fangio. I was going to be very disrespectful there, so I'll just hold back. But we'll move on from that. Now that I've brought it up, I was just going to say I'm not sure if he knows how to put a mask on. But overall, after watching his play calling, but he's also a friend of coaches, so that was. It's already out.
They also fine the teams $250,000 too. So you have the coaches fine, and then they fine the team an additional $250,000.
All of this, though, this is what I want to say to this, though. Yes, you should have your mask on. You're allowed when you're making play calls to pull it down. They do have that. Both these coaches did have masks. They just didn't utilize it to the full ability. This is where I've got the problem. What an NFL Roger Goodell, Ginger Hammer type thing to do, though, is to fine all this cash, which now has been raked up of over $1 million. Over $1 million in fines. Was this going to pay Roger Goodell more money? Think about that. Like, we're not getting any information. We're going to utilize this money into giving it back to safety research for those cities or doing something with it. Like when John McCain had to step in, a late senator right there from Arizona and ran for president, as we know, the McCain-Palin. John was a war hero, POW. Now, he had to step in and force the NFL, said, you sons of you-know-what, you've been charging for those moments where Lieutenant Stevens comes back from war in Afghanistan and hugs his kids by the American flag. And I'm proud to be an American. That moment we're all tearing before the game. They were charging them for it. And you know what? The National Guard, the Army Reserve, they were paying. So it's a business. Businesses make money. I understand it. But there's some people that just because you can charge them doesn't mean you should. And they brought that in, and then they dropped it. They looked bad, and the NFL was like, oh, I'm sorry. They only split $9.6 billion in revenue. Roger Goodell gets paid $40 million per year. And he doesn't have any salary. He gets all a revenue share of the overall league as his percentage, and he makes over $40 million a year. But this is, like I said, finding them I'm okay with because they didn't follow the protocol, and it's that simple, and others are. Those coaches don't want to wear masks, a lot of them, but they have to. It's follow the rules. And it's not a good example for your players if you can't follow rules from your bosses. So I get that. However, where's this money going? That's what I'm saying. So they're finding these coaches out of their pockets to what? Make more money for the NFL? That's where I have if you're going to stick it to them here, what are you trying to prove by you're just making more money out of those houses because they're not following your rules? See what I mean?
I don't have a problem with it, and the reason I don't is because don't like it. Do what you're supposed to do because these protocols are in place. Everybody has been trying to tear the NFL apart the entire time, and it comes down to their testing has been a quarter of a %. They've done a great job. They're trying to shore up everything so they don't have any problems. They're on national TV. So they want people to look and say, wow, even these guys are wearing their masks over there. I get that. The money-wise, I don't know. I know the NFL is donating money to social justice things. I don't know if that money's going there or not, but the NFL's throwing a ton of money for the next 10 years into that kind of stuff. I don't think, personally, I don't care because you know what? What are they supposed to do? You want to suspend a coach? You don't want to suspend him a game? Instead of fining him money, let's do that. That'll hurt your pocketbook a lot more for these guys. The money's the money. What direction do you think they should go in? That would be my question.
No, I think it'd be it just seems like a really quick PR that people that are up there.
It is.
In that suite,
it's to protect their identity and what they're doing right now.
Which I agreed with. I'm talking about, and they don't have to, but it would be a very good look, and it shouldn't take somebody in a room that's way up there that we talked about, the extra key in New York that you have to get up to that suite, which they do have. I know that for the NFL office. For somebody in that room to say, hey, the money that's fined, we're utilizing to put that money back into our community. I know that you're
already doing that.
But they're not doing it through this. They're just saying we're taking your money and giving it to more people in the room. That
doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to matter, but that would be a good move. It goes back to earlier.
The next 10 years, they're giving so much amount of money for all these social justice programs across the country. So when they fine a player for wearing the wrong shoes or whatever, we've never had a problem with that.
No, I have had a problem with a lot of that.
Well, I've never heard it. We've always just said, well, they got fined. If a guy gets targeted, gets out for targeting or whatever, hurts a player, we're just like, yeah, he got fined this amount of money.
The reason why I'm saying this
anything.
is it's the judge, the juror, and the executioner is Roger Goodell and that staff that make these decisions. Who makes more money when the NFL makes more money? There's no revenue share plan.
It's their business.
They're literally getting richer off, but they're the ones
telling
making
them how to spend their money.
But both of them had their masks on. It was up to the NFL and the people that are going to get their money. They had them on at times. They didn't wear. I'm not arguing though that they could have worn
one of them
mask
did not
better
at all.
But if there were people sitting here watching the show and they're in the back room and they go, and they didn't say you're going to get fired if you talk about it. They say we're watching you and we're going to take your cash. You still work for us, but every dollar you make is going to go back to us. And then they were the ones that made that decision. It wasn't a committee, but it was the ones that just said that. You'd go, okay, this is getting out of control. Like these guys make enough money where they're going to all be okay. John Gruden makes $10 million a year. It's not going to hurt.
It's not
him.
hard to throw a mask over. It's
I'm
very simple task.
I'm not arguing that these guys didn't deserve to get fined. I'm arguing that the NFL, they don't have to once again, but it could have made clear where right now this money is just funneling back to the NFL and to make Roger Goodell and other people richer.
They don't have to do that. They don't need to do that. And the reason why is it's their business. They don't come to your business and tell you how to do it. They're already giving. For 10 years, they're giving all this money to social justice programs. They're doing other things over here. They're doing every little bit. No, they're not going to do this. They're not going to put it and say they don't have to because the money that's revenue, all this money that's generated is going out to this. That's where this money is coming from. So technically, the money they're getting here could be part of the money that is going out to these other programs. They're just not straight up coming out and saying, okay, this $100,000 here is going to Chicago for this program.
I might only be here a few more days based on that. I feel like this is I don't think you're going to disagree. Would this be not a bad slogan to say the $1.1 million, we're going to use that money back to help COVID-19 in inner city communities? It would take 2 seconds to say that. Wouldn't it be a good
but I feel like
ploy to say?
They've already done that.
No, they haven't. They haven't said anything to that. The NFL, it's its own group of people.
So every bit of money they collect, they need to tell us what they're doing with it. Is that what you're saying?
No, but when they're taking money from people based on that, they don't have a panel, which I agree with.
Okay. So then what?
But who's to say who are the people making that decision? Once again, I brought up the point of not firing people where they would have to find somebody. It's going to cost them more money, but they're going to take your hard-earned money in that company and they're going to give it to their pocket, and they're the ones making that decision on how far to go.
If you break the rule, you get punished, right?
Yeah, and all of these coaches outside of Pete Carroll, you can find them all you want, but all these coaches, for the most part, still had the mask. They were just pulling it on. They didn't completely follow the protocol.
The majority of the time, the mask was down, and there's no point. And whether you believe in the mask or you don't believe in the mask, these coaches know the rules. These players know what's up. Everybody knows. Everybody is clear on the rules. I'm not going to buy any of this. well, you know what, I just forgot. That's fine because you lost $100,000. I understand you're cool with that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
But it doesn't matter because the NFL is throwing out money over here for this program, this program, this program, this program, this program. I completely disagree. It doesn't matter. They shouldn't have to come out and say this 1.5 is going to go to this because they're already doing that as a entire organization. They don't need to start telling us, okay, well, this guy right here, he got out for targeting, so let's do this. We're going to take this money and we're going to give it to this organization because that's what it's going to come to.
But I haven't heard any of that. What you're saying is I have not heard them say anything that they're giving money back to COVID and to help fight the cities. That's where I'm saying.
No social justice programs. No,
that's a different. That social justice should not have anything to do with this, though. But it's a completely different subject. It's completely.
You're
different.
wanting to know where the money's going. This is what we're talking
I know exactly
about.
where it's going. It's going to Troy Vincent's. It's going into Roger Goodell. It's going to their pockets.
Well, guess what? It's a business. That's how it works. Let's talk about all these bigwigs. Let's talk about Amazon.
Yeah,
Let's talk about all these CEOs. Let's talk about the CEO of ESPN. Let's talk about all Stephen A. Smith making over $9 million a year. Let's talk about what about all this? Like, you can't just pick it apart because it's a big business.
No, but I'm talking about the money.
You're saying they should tell you where they're sending that money.
I know where it's going. It's going to them, but it's different because when you're fining somebody out of their own pocket, what you're doing is you're not firing them. You're taking their money and you're giving it to them yourself in this situation. That's what I'm saying here.
Because they didn't say they were giving it to themselves either.
Well, where do you think that money goes back into the revenue?
So we're just assuming. Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're assuming right now with all of this.
Okay. Well, I'm not. Because I don't care. It doesn't matter because they're already doing this other stuff, which first off, they don't have to do. People get too spoiled in believing the NFL has to give back and do all this stuff. They don't. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. And if you don't like what they're doing, don't support it. Don't talk about it.
Wait a second. No. But when you start finding people's money,
but they broke the rules. Guess what? We wouldn't have to talk about this if they would put the stinking mask on as a coach when you're going to be on national television and the NFL is trying to cover its own butt.
John Gruden did have his mask on.
The majority of the time, he did not. It doesn't matter. Guess what? If you speed and you speed for a mile, but you don't speed for the rest of the time, you still did it.
Well,
so
wait a second, though, but there are rules and laws. If the law was based on...
what was the rule with the masks?
If a police officer says...
What was the rule with the masks? You wear the mask at all times.
I think this goes back to the same conversation.
You wear the mask at all times.
Is that we live in a society where you're innocent until proven guilty, except you're guilty until proven innocent in the NFL. Because there's no other...
We have him on TV with his mask off. I think that's all we need.
If you're going 55 and a 45, you get pulled over. If you know your rights and you asked to see the speedometer, I don't think I was speeding, and they can't provide that, then you get off that ticket.
We have all the evidence we need.
I saw John Gruden wearing a mask.
Did you see him with the mask off?
They all can take their mask off at one point to breathe.
No, they can't. When John Gruden's walking around talking to referees with no mask on or talking to other players with no mask on, don't tell me that, well, it was just a second. No, he knew. Whether he forgot or whatever, that's what this point is all about. They're fining him because maybe next time they'll think twice before they do that because it's not about they forgot or whatever. This is about the NFL and the entire picture here but remember, the NFL took so much.
I agree with you on this.
But you're talking about the money. They need to tell you where they're putting the money?
They don't have to, but it'd be a good thing. They don't have to, but it'd have been a good gesture to do that.
But what about everything else they're doing?
But you're saying that as a broad term. I don't see. I see the NFL, they do a lot of they have done a lot of things that are real shady. But I love the NFL.
For sure. But do we keep watching it? Do we support it?
Yes, which I will. That's a lot of things.
It's okay.
I know Jeff Bezos, it's not the best places everywhere he gets it, but guess what? I still use Prime.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what there's some things, unless it gets to the point where people are involved in something.
We need to understand that that's their business, and we can want them to do something. We can complain and moan about it, whatever, but they don't owe us anything. And
I agree, but it's our job to... I have my opinion as a broadcaster to say that I think it's ridiculous that they're not at least saying, hey, that money's going to help towards COVID. At least it would have been a good gesture. It would have been to me, it would have been a smart PR move that they don't have to do, but they should have.
I think all the volunteer things that they do, the money they send out to all these other programs helping kids, now they're doing social justice programs, and they've committed the next 10 years. There is, this, there's a million different things the NFL sends money out and does for communities across the country. That's why I look at this and go, I'm not going to think twice about this because you know what? Yeah, they make a ton of money for sure. But would I want that money too? You're darn right I would. I'm not second-guessing anything they're doing with the money because I know what they are doing with the money they've been doing. And once again, the whole thing with the 10 years committing it to social justice programs, awesome. 10 years, they're on the books for it for sure, along with all the other programs that they're doing around the country and even into other countries. So I just don't have a problem with it. I don't think it makes – because they are helping with COVID. Are they coming out and doing in like a specific thing like, okay, we're going to spend this amount of money in Chicago for testing? And no, they're not. And I don't think they have to.
I'll end on this. We agree on a lot of this. Either way, I'm not going to lose sleep on it. Just think it would be a good gesture. That's it. That's it. That's it. It doesn't mean that they don't have to at all. They don't owe me anything. You're making
the NFL out to be like a criminal.
Hey, they did spend
it is a business.
They did spend $2.1 million.
Let's talk about the one that represents us as well.
$2.1 million was used towards going back out after the U.S. Supreme Court to go after Tom Brady and deflated balls. $2.1 million of the league.
Let's talk about every franchise if we want to go down this road. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to point the finger at one, let's point the finger at all these businesses that have been corrupt, including businesses in our own area.
Roger Goodell threw away a good pizza because he was late for a meeting.
Roger Goodell is my hero because he's making a ton of money doing absolutely nothing.
Well, we'll agree on that. All right, let's go to break. Go Gators.
Baptist Healthcare is pleased to announce its newest location, Baptist Emergency Room and Urgent Care, one of the most progressive models of patient care in Northwest Florida. A combined urgent care and full-service emergency room, both under one roof. Each patient, whether it's a broken leg or even a common cold, is seen by an ER physician. But more than 70% of patients are treated and billed at the urgent care level, saving unnecessary medical charges. Now, Navarre, Mary Esther, and Fort Walton Beach, and all of the surrounding areas have an ER available that won't break the bank. Fully in-network, including Medicare, no appointment necessary, open 24/7. And with COVID-19 testing available, the new Baptist Emergency Room and Urgent Care is conveniently located at Baptist Medical Park on Navarre Parkway, 2 miles east of 399. Baptist Health ER and Urgent Care, opening soon. To learn more, visit BaptistHealthCareERUC.org or call 850-908-8888.
Calling all FSU fans, Tomahawk Talk is here. Tune every Wednesday afternoon, 1 till 2 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM to get the latest on Florida State football. Hear from the experts, the superfans, and even some former players about what's happening on the field from the sidelines to the locker room. It's Tomahawk Talk every Wednesday afternoon starting at 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
Presented in part by Gross & Schuster, attorneys at law.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
For your Florida Gators Chomp Talk, I'm JP. The Florida Gators are chomping at the bit to get on the field for Saturday's matchup against the Ole Miss Rebels. Even though this will be a new-look Rebels team with Lane Kiffin at the helm, Florida, led by senior sensation and Heisman hopeful Kyle Trask, look to make this the year that Dan Mullen takes the SEC East title from Georgia. With Kyle Pitts, Trayvon Grimes, Kadarius Toney, Jacob Copeland, and a much-improved offensive line, this offense should have no shortage of firepower. That's your Florida Gators Chomp Talk. I'm JP.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Say, hey now, baby. Oh, mama, don't play now, baby. Say, hey now, baby. So let's get one thing straight now, baby. Tell me if you love me or not, love me or not, love me or not. At the house on you, am I lucky or not, lucky or not, lucky or not? You gotta tell me if you love me or not, love me or not, love me or not. Been wishing for you, am I lucky or not, lucky or not, lucky or not?
Welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each every day on Blab TV.
You worried about this song? That's a good song. We're not.
That wasn't the,
No.
Okay.
No, there's no E beside that one.
Okay. I thought it was the I Got Something For You. I wasn't sure.
No,
Okay, good. I heard a few of them, and I
That's
wasn't
only on
sure coming
Fridays.
back. I know we were having the conversation. Our conversation continued after the break. We're all good here. We went in the parking lot. I got a couple stitches here on the side. Oakland, formerly known as Oakland, but Las Vegas with that 34-24 win. Florida sophomore lineman Ethan White will miss time with his knee injury right there, need minor surgery against Ole Miss, so he will be out. They should be okay. Matt Corral, the former Gator quarterback, I have to say that. He was only there for a few. But, he's going to be out there. John Reese Plumlee will play. I'm sure they'll use him in other ways. But it's a 15-point spread. Ole Miss, defensively, should not be able to stop a Dan Mullen offense that has Kyle Trask and a bunch of healthy guys. And Kyle Pitts is the best tight end. Could be one of the top 3 receivers. Now with Jamar Chase not coming back with LSU, he could be a top 3 weapon. I mean, you think about the guys that were the best weapons last year. Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Jordan Jefferson. They're all gone. Not Jordan Jefferson, Justin Jefferson.
He's been long.
He's been gone for a while.
Please don't bring
but
him back.
All of those guys. So I think Pitts is one of the top targets right now in all of college football, and they should be able to pick apart a bad Ole Miss defense. I'm excited. Lane Kiffin's offensively is going to get some points. Florida's defense is solid, but I could see this one getting out of control. I could see this 48-21.
Matt Luke scored points last year. I mean, it wasn't the offense.
They're not a joke,
it was the
but
defense.
they're not. Ole Miss is not a good football team right now. They where there was smoke, there was a lot of fire, and Hugh Freeze took them down a path where it was going to take a couple years to rebuild. There was going to be no 4- and 5-star recruits going to play for Matt Luke. You have Elijah Moore, that fire hydrant. But overall, the Gators, if they want to prove, the Gators should come into this. They've got some injuries, but Jacob Copeland, Pensacola's own, is going to be playing this year. They can find ways to utilize Kadarius Toney, who's coming back. I just think in this matchup right here that Florida with Georgia and the negative stories without Jamie Newman, who's going to be their quarterback, that kind of thing, this is a chance for Florida to say, you know what, we're more than just another good team. We're taking that next step, which Gator fans want to see this year, to be in the elite group.
Well, if not this
year.
Like
LSU did last year.
If not this year, when?
I agree.
This is everything is set up to be, especially offensively with Kyle
Preseason
Trask.
number 5.
Trayvon Grimes, Kadarius Toney, like I said, you said Jacob Copeland, Kyle Pitts is back. The offensive line's much improved. We know that the defense is going to be just fine. They're going to work through some troubles, and they'll probably have some troubles against Ole Miss to start off with. I think they'll figure it out, obviously. But this is, if not when, for Georgia, offensively they'll be okay. I don't think they'll be great. I think it's going to be a work in progress for them. The defense for Georgia is going to be rock solid. We know that. But if you're Florida, with what you have now, even though I know they have a good recruiting class, everything is it's been so long since we've been able to say, wow, look at that Florida quarterback. That's a guy I think can lead them to the promised land.
And Emory Jones is that guy for you?
No, he's not.
No, Kyle Trask is. He should be.
They do have a good young freshman quarterback, but he's we'll see.
Trask should be the number 1 quarterback in the SEC going.
Brock Vandegrift's coming out next year.
Brock the Hawk, baby,
for Georgia, and he probably. I don't know if you saw the high school football game that Friday night when he played for, I think it was Prince Christian or whatever. But boy, he's good.
Jumping Brock
Vandegrift. He is.
Not easy to say right there.
Yeah, he's good. He's the real deal. So it needs to be now for Florida.
Looking at some of the other stuff going on, Notre Dame Wake Forest has been postponed after multiple players testing positive. At this point, it's safety protocol. That's what's going to happen. I mean, this is one thing that was.
Why have bye week?
This is not an old, like when the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12 decided to play. And at that time, the Big 10, who's coming with me? And everyone's like, no. Pac-10, Pac-12 was like, yeah, let's go. And we knew that already. Did you see like David Shaw and those guys trying to answer questions on game day? They were like, what about you guys? Now that the Big Ten is deciding to come back here soon, what about you guys? And they're like, be nice. They were supposed to have a meeting, I think, Thursday, correct? They were supposed to even last night talk about it, and they were like, nah, we moved it aside. How could that not be like, you got a priority list of all these old, I can see a guy in there with like a bow tie like, none of these guys talk like this on the West Coast. I was about to be like, I confirm here on my list, but that's not how they.
No, I don't think that would go over well.
But they look over here more like, you know what, brah? None of them talk like that either in that room.
Surfers.
Executive, hey, what's up, Tubular, man? Guys making your decisions for your school. So they talk like a normal human, as I should right now. And they didn't even bring it up, though. They didn't even bring it up at any time to say, hey, like, should we get to this now that the Big Ten announced they're playing in October? No, we're good. Let's push it away.
24 to 48 hours is when we're expected to hear the decision that they made. Or
if they say no now, if they say no at this point, which they could, I mean, they're dealing with being the West Coast.
They're talking about a 6 to 7 game season. That's what they're talking about. At what point?
Okay, here's the deal. They come back for the season. Are we reverting back to the Ducks?
No.
Okay, we're done here.
I mean, I'll still, that's fine, because that's a team that I had family that was a part of that before, so whatever. But I'm a Gator.
You raise ducks, right? Is that how that? No,
I wish. That'd be cool. Bunnies. But no, that's great. But here's the thing. I mean, they've had a bunch of guys opt out as well. Well, guys opt back in. Hearing, I forget who I was listening to today on Sirius XM talking about teams and should guys, it was PJ Fleck in Minnesota. I was listening to the interview they did with him.
It's on the boat.
And he was talking about, they said, we had a bunch of guys opt out. And he said, yeah, they should have. Like jumping at these guys, and they're just like, whoa, and he goes, but now that we're playing, they should opt back in. And they're like, well, why? What really changed? Oh, protocols were changed. But they were like, so wait a minute, the Big Ten's protocols weren't good to start off with. Well, that's not what I said. I mean,
there's okay. Look at the level of accountability in life is it's completely different. Like. Our grandparents' age of accountability being like, hey, we're leaving your family and kids for war and other things. Nowadays, you can be like, yeah, I'm in. No, I'm out. No, I want to play here. No, I'm out. If you have a good enough excuse, you don't have to sit out that year for a transfer rule. You can just play. We know that. So there really is nothing stopping somebody from coming back. I'm surprised, like Jamar Chase hasn't been convinced. I don't know now. I need to look into it. What are the protocols for, like, after a couple weeks, you start to feel the flow, and Miles Brennan might be the real deal.
You can come back as long as you don't, I believe, accept payment from an agent.
Okay, well.
So I think there's a couple guys that have already done that have moved on.
Sitting for the final weeks. Jamar Chase, it's week 12, the big game, and like, all right, here we go. Comes back for the big plays. Be awesome, man.
As long as he stays enrolled,
Somebody, I mean, look, if I'm Ed O, I get enough money from LSU boosters and say, hey, look, let's keep a bank like Scrooge McDuck of people like on a camera that Jamar Chase can see of us swimming in coins, knowing that money is yours as a backup plan. Now, as long as you don't sign an agent right now. Like, just don't get any money right now.
Stay enrolled.
Just look, there's that money. Come on, stay around. But it's not yours. It's our money, but that's the backup plan in case we're good. Now, if we're not good, just go take your money and
take
go.
basket weaving online.
Go Tigers. But if it's not, man.
And there you go.
Week 2, just for the big game. Out of nowhere, coming through the tunnel. Whew. Jamar Chase comes back for that big game. I don't think it's going to matter this year. Miles Brennan's like, don't worry about it. Go pro. We're coming back for more Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola Live TV.
Baptist Healthcare is pleased to announce its newest location, Baptist Emergency Room and Urgent Care, one of the most progressive models of patient care in Northwest Florida. A combined urgent care and full-service emergency room, both under one roof. Each patient, whether it's a broken leg or even a common cold, is seen by an ER physician. But more than 70% of patients are treated and billed at the urgent care level, saving unnecessary medical charges. Now, Navarre, Mary Esther, and Fort Walton Beach, and all of the surrounding areas have an ER available that won't break the bank. Fully in-network, including Medicare, no appointment necessary, open 24/7, and with COVID-19 testing available, the new Baptist Emergency Room and Urgent Care is conveniently located at Baptist Medical Park on Navarre Parkway, 2 miles east of 399. Baptist Health ER and Urgent Care, opening soon. To learn more, visit BaptistHealthCareERUC.org or call 850-908-8888.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
As a fashion designer, Zoe is always looking for inspiration. In Spain, she stumbled upon the world's greatest tomato fighter, which shaped her new line, and her love for Moe's freshly made seasonal salsas. At Moe's, we know everyone is original, so we offer over 20 fresh ingredients to make burritos and other creations as unique as you. Welcome to Moe's! Find your nearest location at Moe's.com.
Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Viagra 100 milligram generic is finally here. Get it today. 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. You heard right. Viagra 100 milligram generic is less than $3 a tablet. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy and cash in on the savings today. 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Short segment here as we get set to go for another Tuesday night of action. Currently, right now, going on, you got the Yankees with a 3-1 lead over Toronto in baseball. Atlanta Braves with a 2-0 lead over Miami. They've already clinched their spot for the playoffs. Tampa and the New York Mets all tied at 1 in the second. You've got Detroit and Minnesota. The Twins also another good season. A lot of these pitchers, though, Kenji Maeda, guys like Homer Bailey, they come over and now they're just wheeling. Like Homer Bailey was getting rocked for a while. 1-0 lead right now for the Tigers for the Twins in the first. Washington and Philadelphia. The Washington Nationals with a 5-1 win in 7 over the Philadelphia Phillies. Somebody's been conned. It's not just me watching one of those games. You're like, all right, I feel like the bullpen's about to come out, and then they're all high-fiving. You're like, wait, what? Like, it's a 7-inning game, the doubleheader today. Pitcher comes in, it's that pop. You see bottom of the 7th or top of the 7th, that's a pop fly. You're like, all right, we can get to the bullpen, and then they're all hugging. Game's over. Happened today. St. Louis and Kansas City. That game will be actually get going here in about 10 minutes. Oakland and L.A. and Colorado and San Francisco. If you had to pick today, World Series, I'll go first. I'll give you some time on this. I know I just completely threw that out of the dark. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I do believe, just based on their pitching being so just ridiculously exceptional this year, the LA Dodgers, and in the AL, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins. I think they have enough to get by this year with the pitching. It's not the best, but it's solid enough with a just an arsenal of ridiculous hitters. So I'm going to go Minnesota and the LA Dodgers.
I'll go LA. I really want to go with the Padres, but I can't. I believe all that experience is going to help.
Oakland can.
I wish. I like the Cleveland. I like Cleveland Indians, and the reason is because of the pitching staff. Because you got to have pitching in the playoffs, and
that whole division is really fun to watch this year.
Look, I could buy into
White
the White
Sox are the real deal too. I know,
but watching the Reds play them too, not because it's the Reds, but just watching that team. There's some inconsistencies, and I know that, look, the Indians are like 30 and 24, 25, something like that. I get that. I don't know. I love the pitching staff, and I think that carries over. Indians can win so many close games. The bullpen's good. They can find enough offense. I would love the A's to win it. They're a fun team to watch too, but I got to go Dodgers. I mean, I really want to go Padres. I just don't think – God, you know what? Talking myself into it. Just because it'd be fun to say.
See, the Astros, and see, the Astros, you would have right now currently, you'd have Houston as a 6 against the number 3, Oakland. And even though Oakland has a way better record this year, not too many people would be picking Oakland to win that series.
Well, they swept them earlier in the season.
I know, but it's a different. But the Astros, when and Verlander's not there.
The playoffs are different.
There's no Verlander or Cole, but it's still a ridiculous team. I mean, their roster is beat twice for yes on them if you want to. Overall, looking at the NHL, all-tied one.
You know how the Astros get in the playoffs.
That's right. Here's your sign. 2020. Here's your sign. Looking at The Rock talked about maybe being the first owner when XFL comes around to play. He's 48 years old. Can you smell what he's cooking? Can you do that?
No, because he'll be smelling it for long. Not buying all that.
Just to me, it's not worth the liability for an XFL game. Like,
48.
Think about all those fairy movies that he gets paid, like Princess Fairy. Somebody's like, what are you calling him? No.
What position is he going to play? That's what I want to know. If he's playing linebacker, no.
Long snapper?
No. That's what I'm saying. He can do that.
That'd be pretty cool, man.
Absolutely. I mean,
he'll be the
Rock
second
out there is
coolest,
the kicker.
Second coolest long snapper. That blind guy from USC.
Yes, that was awesome.
That's so cool.
But The Rock is a kicker.
And I just
run a fake.
Called him that blind guy. He has a name.
He has a name.
Yeah, that was very rude of me. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola. That blind guy.
He has a
coming
name.
back for more. He's got a name. Over the last few months, we've been looking for something to do. Well, one place that has been local for years, and we are all fan favorites, has been giving us some great weekends. Five Flags Speedway, the best half-mile short track out there. Coming up October 20th, it's the ARCA 200. And in December, the biggest race around, the Snowball Derby. If you're a racing fan, you need to get to Five Flags Speedway. Proud sponsors of the Fan Zone and local football. Go to fiveflagspeedway.com to check in on all the upcoming events.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The NFL Power Rankings now that Monday Night Football in the books. Las Vegas Raiders get the win right there over the New Orleans Saints, 34-24. Now 11 teams remain unbeaten before Mercury Morris is going to be doing that self-isolation dance maybe this year at home. But so sick of seeing that, 72 Dolphins. Can somebody do it now that the Pats the days have passed for us to do it? We could have ended it. Thanks to Fred Robbins and his Giants for ending that. But, is what it is. They won that. Plaxico Burress took some shots after the game. Oh, that was wrong. But when it comes down to
go straight
NFL
to your leg.
Power, shots. Ouch! Not that kind. Hey, you want some shots, guys? Not from you, Plaxico. Looking at the power rankings right now. Kansas City won. Do you agree with it? I got to disagree real quick. I know we only have about 20 seconds to disagree.
Oh, we got a minute.
But Baltimore should be number one right now, I think. Just based on what we've seen in the first 2 weeks. That's all I'm judging it on. Not by assumption that Kansas City's going to win it all, because I agree with that. I'm saying from what we've seen so far, Baltimore's looked like a better team.
You'd go either way.
Yeah. Baltimore's 2, Seattle 3, Green Bay 4, and the Saints 5.
God,
Saints still sitting
there.
What
the heck is the Saints doing at number 5? I know it's still early, but still, there's a bunch of other
That's pretty
teams.
rude. Yeah.
Green Bay has been the biggest surprise to me.
Bills are 6. All right. Now Rams 7.
It's because Josh Allen's
This is a
throwing
little
all over the
offensive
place.
to your Titans. Number 8, Titans. Now your Titans are there. They're the last of the. No, they're not. San Francisco 1-1 at number 9. Their whole team's hurt right now. Number 10, the Patriots. I'm not in the mood for this. Number 12, the Steelers should be higher than 11. They deserve at least top 10 after the 2-0 start. They're just trying to razz Steeler fans right now. Number 12, I'm going to get them pissed. Number 12, Arizona Cardinals at 2-0. And number 13, Las Vegas Raiders. Who's the bottom? Let's go. It's got to be the Jets, right? Come on. Wow. Yep, New York Jets, number 13. That's all the time we have for it. As many shows around the country do. And on a tough note for the Jets. That's all the time we have for today.
Jets. No.
You could use the other word on that. Guys, that's all the time we have. Thanks again for tuning in. Coming up, Spain and Fitz. For JP, Chad Brillante, God bless.
so bitter.